As hard as this may be to swallow, there have been numerous alleged werewolf sightings in recent years in places like Kent and in the south of England, and along a lonely stretch of road in the state of Wisconsin. So tonight, The Conspiracy Show investigates the werewolf and whether there may be some truth behind this legend. We're about to meet a noted paranormal investigator in New York City who will separate fact from fiction on the subject, and two cryptozoologists, one in Kent, England, and the other in Wisconsin, who've investigated alleged werewolf sightings. And of course, all this talk of werewolves will be tempered with a skeptical viewpoint from our no-nonsense investigator of paranormal claims. Me, I'm like you. I just want the truth. And I'm willing to follow the truth wherever it leads. It is time to redefine reality. I'm here with Neil Arnold, the British Isles' preeminent paranormal researcher. Neil, what is it about this region of England, Kent? You get so many sightings here of strange mythical creatures, werewolves. What is it about this place?
Well, I just think, like a lot of places, when they're quite old, it's far more interesting to do research into an area like that with lots of folklore.
Neil, what's your definition of a werewolf?
I believe there's several kind of definitions. Mainly, of course, people see a werewolf as being something akin to the stuff you'd see in movies, these bipedal creatures with a very long sort of muzzle. But I believe it's something that goes back, similar to vampires, possibly since the dawn of man, whether it's a shape-shifting type of being or some kind of sort of paranormal manifestation, possibly something more to do with the human psyche, possibly.
What do witnesses typically report seeing?
Generally, it seems to be all across Britain, is that people are seeing a figure that is sort of usually bipedal, covered in shaggy fur, usually with a long muzzle, or some type of what they describe as man-beast. But of course, in the UK, it seems very unlikely we could have any type of unknown animal. So it seems that it's to do with, or a product of the human psyche.
There was a creature around this area known as the Great Dog. And it was a ferocious, folkloric type of monster. But on one occasion, a chap was walking in the area when this creature leapt out on him, bit him in the throat, killed him, and ate him on the spot. And what was left of this poor guy was said to have been buried on the Pilgrim's Way. This is not the sort of place you want to walk at night.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What might you encounter?
A very large creature, about 8.5 foot tall, with burning red eyes.
There's been several reports where people have actually seen a very strange man-beast up until just a few years ago. And on one occasion, a local area called Bluebell Hill, which is very wooded, got lots of folklore and Roman mythology. These group of friends were walking into the wood one night, came down this track, and there was this creature up ahead, which they said was about 8 feet tall.
It was like a creature that had red eyes that he said was coming across the field.
Always at night?
Usually at night, yeah. And you don't really get people in this area of a night, so. The girl that see one in 2008 as it was crossing a road, and she said she crashed the vehicle, broke her arm, and she just said that she struggles to sleep at night now. Nobody really takes her serious as to what she's seen.
Most encounters happen in automobiles. They're driving down the road and the people are pretty safe. But those out in the open, I would exercise extreme caution. I've had people shoot at them with little or no effect.
People talk about sort of silver bullets to repel these creatures. I think, again, this is just the stuff of Hollywood. I think we create these type of repellents simply so we feel there is something that can keep us safe.
If one were to encounter a werewolf, what should you do?
Run. No.
And of course, if there is something out there in the woods, we don't really want to know about it. We like mystery, but we don't want it starting to come into our bedrooms or our back gardens.
Most of the time when people encounter, by surprise, supernatural entities, the entities go away. They really don't want any interaction with us. It's important, however, not to be afraid, because fear seems to generate a magnetic effect all of its own, and it literally attracts what you're afraid of to you.
So of course Hollywood tends to paint this picture of a guy that transforms by the full moon and still leaves some of his clothes on his sort of hairy body and goes on the rampage, but I don't think that's true, certainly in the UK. I get lots of reports of people that have seen strange creatures. I certainly believe that people are seeing something. Not everybody is a liar, not everybody is drunk or mad. But I just believe that these type of things exist because it needs somebody to actually trigger these things off. So in other words, you know, do they still appear if there is nobody there to see them? And I believe they don't. They can't live in the woods because it's not scientifically or biologically possible. So I believe that they've kind of over the years been given a strength through sort of the media and film, and also as well more misunderstood cases in Europe centuries ago tended to be people that had strange medical issues, rabies, schizophrenia, that weren't understood, so we labelled them as werewolves or vampires, and that's how these things have mainly come about. But I also believe these are strange sort of manifestations that for centuries have existed, and that we've eventually put them there, moulded them, and they've become stronger in our culture. Yeah, when you look at the amount of people that do come forward, it's quite startling. And people have actually been in tears talking to me about how they've actually seen something they just can't understand. And of course there are a lot of people who don't want to tell their family about what they've seen because they fear ridicule. They don't want to tell friends because their friends won't take them seriously. So people seem very, very genuine as to what they are seeing.
You know, and sometimes it's 20, 30 years later, but they still want to tell somebody who won't think they're crazy.
I think if they know that somebody's actually out there doing proper research into it, who won't sort of laugh at these stories, then they know at least they can open up and get it off their chest. And I think that's the important thing. And they want to know if it's connected to them, why they should see it, as if it's picked on them. But then of course you start getting more and more reports and you realise there's more going on and they're not the only people that's actually seen it, which is quite a relief for them.
The sightings of bipedal wolf-like creatures in England are tougher to explain. For those of us who believe in a spiritual realm, we have to at least consider the possibility that these eyewitnesses are catching a fleeting glimpse into another dimension, one in which such creatures may exist. The wolf-like creature seen walking on two legs in parts of Wisconsin and Michigan. Is it a bear? An as yet undiscovered species of wolf or some other canine? I'd have to see one for myself before making up my mind. And here's hoping I may never have that opportunity. And now I'd like to know what you think. You can contact us here at The Conspiracy Show through our website, www.theconspiracyshow.com. In the meantime, don't be afraid.